Okay, and we're live.
Are you starting it? Did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you now. We're not on there yet, though.
We're on.
Oh, that doesn't upload it yet. It still says off air on mine. Okay, so welcome to episode 3 of the Sweet Talk. I'm Brian Costello here with my wonderful co-host Kim Mattina, and we are going to be talking about some end of the year tips and cleanup tools to help you get yourself organized and kind of finish up the year strong and get ready to start the next year as well. So it's been a crazy month. I just said before we got started, it doesn't seem like it's been a whole month since the last time we did a show, but it's been a little bit longer than a whole month. So wild, and I know for everybody else, it's probably the same thing. It's a crazy time of year, very busy. So we're gonna hopefully get you up and running with some pretty cool things, some pretty cool tricks to get you finishing the year, like I said, as strong and easily as possible, and take some of the load off everybody. We get started, just give a shout out. Kim and I were both recently at ACT 17 up at Rider University. We both had sessions there. It was a really great event. So thanks to the Evolve Educator Group for putting it on and letting us come.
Yeah,
And we'll
it
both,
was very productive for me. I got a lot out of it. It was great. It was a great day.
yeah, I did as well. And then we're both going to be at Garden State Summit in
June 7th.
a week from today. Yeah, at Georgian Court University, which you can still register for. That's going to be it looks like a pretty incredible day itself. So
I think you can visit gardenstatesummit.com and
yeah,
look at the schedule and, register.
yeah. There's a lot of really great sessions. I'm looking forward to going to a bunch of them, as well as presenting a couple myself. So, and I
Yeah,
know Kim, you're presenting as well.
like, yeah, that's going to be another great productive day. I'm only presenting in one session because I want to get professional development too. So I'm doing a session on Google grading and rubrics. So that should be fun, using Google Classroom and Orange Slice Teacher Rubric, the add-on. So, I think we lost Brian. Let's see what we can do to get him back. Hopefully he can join. All right, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to continue with the show until he gets back on and join the show. I'm going to talk about end of the year closeout for Google Classroom. There's a few things that, if you're using Google Classroom, there's a few things that you should do in order to clean up your classes, your class roster, your assignments, your Google Drive, your calendar, so that it's all that is put away and that you're ready to start the new year on a clean note. So what I want to go over first is every time Google Classroom, when there's a new Google Classroom created, there's a new calendar created also in the Google Calendar. And what you can do with that is you can simply hide that calendar. So what you would do, let me share my screen here. Oh, hold on. I'm texting Brian because we need to get him back in the show. So we have technical difficulties again. So what I was saying was you want to hide your classroom calendar that's created in your Google Calendar. So if you go to Calendar, on the left side here under My Calendars, you're going to see a classroom calendar created in this section of Google Calendar. And what you can do here is you can simply hide these calendars, and you don't have to do this at the end of the school year. You can do this anytime during the school year if you're not using this calendar. So say, for example, this calendar here, NJEA Tech Stock, I can simply hover over it, click the down arrow and simply hide the calendar from the list. And it will be hidden from the My Calendar section. And you can see that it's actually taken them and hiding the calendars from the list. So that's one handy tip that you can do to hide calendars that you're not using in Google Classroom. And let's see if we got Brian back. I don't think he's here yet. All right, so let me continue on. Another trick that I can do in Google Classroom is archiving the classes. So you want to archive your class so that you can freeze or disable any class activity or comments in that Google Classroom that you're not using anymore. It's highly recommended that you archive classes. When you archive classes, you can still retrieve and reuse the posts from that archive class into any new class, but it just disables students to be able to get in there, comment on anything, access any files that you have. So you always want to archive. And then after you archive your class, you can restore the class or you can delete the class. And I will show you how to do that. Let me share my screen. So right now I am in Google Classroom and I'm going to go over to the menu and I'm going to go over to archive classes first. And these are all the classes that I did archive in the past. Now, if I wanted to, I can restore this class. So if I click on the three dots, I can restore the class or I can delete it. So if I hit restore, it's going to prompt me to restore it. And now if I go back into my main dashboard, that class is available. So if I wanted to archive this class at this point, I can hit the three dots for the menu and archive it. It's going to ask me if I want to archive it. I want to archive it. And it simply removes that class from the classroom dashboard screen. So if you want to go into the archive classes, all of them appear here. And if I want to delete the class, I simply click on the three dots, click delete. And yes, I want to delete the class. And this will actually remove the class from Google Classroom. However, it does not remove the classroom folder in Google Drive. And that's where you should we're going to start next. So in Google Drive, what you can do is you can create a folder called archive, and the school year like I did here. I named it archive 1617 SY for school year. And what you can do here is you can simply click on any of the classroom folders that you have and you can move it into the archive folder. So I'm going to move this into the archive folder. And now that folder is gone from my classroom folder and it resides in my archive folder. So you may want to try this also because it'll clean up your Google Drive and it'll organize it so that you'll be able to have an organized drive. And let me go back into the Google Hangout. And I have to invite Brian again because he cannot get into the Google Hangout. So just bear with me here. Okay, so hopefully now Brian can get back and join us. And let me just text him. Don't you love this? Technical difficulties. There's Brian. We made it. We conquered our technical difficulties.
Yes, finally. I seem to have some issues with the internet at my house, apparently, especially right now. But
Well,
I have a changed
we're okay.
location. We're good. We're portable.
I continued without you. It was strange. I felt bad.
No, no, it's good. Yeah,
um,
I was just going to be dead weight while you're talking about classroom anyway.
well, we are almost. I'm almost done. I just went over how we can hide a Google Calendar from the Calendar app. Every time when a classroom is created, it creates an associated calendar in Google Calendar, and you can hide that calendar in your Google Calendar app. So I went over that. I also went over how we can archive classes, how we can restore classes, and how we can delete classes, and why we do this. And I also went over Google Drive. Um, so I explained that it might be best to organize Google Drive once we archive classes, so that um, those classroom folders are removed into an archive folder. So I suggested to create an archive folder and simply go into the classroom folder and move those class folders out into the archive folder.
So now, will they automatically, everything you put in there automatically goes to that folder, or just you move it in there and it stays?
Yeah, you just move it in there, because when you archive or delete a Google Classroom, it doesn't do anything to Google Drive. So you have to manually manage that, and that's how you would do it. You create folders and move them over so that there's some kind of organization in your Drive with your current school year. So I mean, they don't. It's the two are totally manage the Drive folders. Yeah, so maybe, if there's enough feedback, maybe the Googlers will, incorporate that feature into Google Classroom. When you archive or delete a class, it'll archive it or delete the folder also in Drive. But that option's not available right now, and that has to be manually did. Another thing that you can do at the end of the school year is make sure you return and grade all of your students' work. So you can go into each class, see what assignments are, are not completed, and grade them, give them feedback, and return them. You don't want to have any loose ends in your Google Classroom, especially if you plan on archiving and deleting it. So those are a few things that I recommend that you do for the end of the year, excuse me, in Google Classroom. They're my tips. I feel that that they're best practices. I think they've helped me, so I want to share that along with the audience. And also, I found a really good blog post from Eric Kurtz, and I will shout out the link to it. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. Eric always puts out great stuff. So anytime you have a chance to take a look at Eric's blog, he really
He's
does a great
awesome.
job. Just about every week there's something interesting or useful. So if you don't have Eric's blog coming your way, you should definitely check it out. It's fantastic.
Let me share the screen with you.
Gosh, there's so many of me.
Can you see my screen?
I can, I guess.
Okay, so this is Eric Kurtz's blog, Control Alt Achieve, and you should subscribe. I would highly recommend that you subscribe to his blog. You can go to www.controlaltachieve.com, and this is his blog post. So I'm just using his as a reference to this to our show, because I was going to prepare a blog post, but he did such an awesome job on it. Why reinvent the wheel, right? So,
Absolutely.
we're all in this to learn and collaborate and share with each other. So he actually explained everything well, and he actually even explained in here to remove any files from your shared with me drive. This is optional. In my opinion, it's optional. You don't have to delete any of the files in your shared with me drive, but you can certainly clean it up. You can go in there, you can
That's a
delete.
project I have to work on. Yeah.
Yeah, you can delete all the documents that were shared with you, and you'll be surprised how many's in there. Especially if
Thousands.
you, yeah, if you're using Google Classroom all the time, you're going to have a lot in there. So it may be a good idea to go in there and see how many files are shared with you and just clean it up. So
Yeah, once
these,
I
you
show
know,
my drive, you'll see just the absurd amount of files that are shared with me. I guess I can share that for a minute when I share my drive.
oh yeah, mine's crazy. I went in there today and I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. So I deleted stuff, things that I didn't need and reference anymore, but you don't have to do that. That's not something that affects Google Classroom directly. That's just a file management recommendation in Google Drive. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's good to start the year fresh because you'll have a bunch more. I know, like I was telling you, I have 32 separate Google Classrooms for all the kids that I see, and partly because I wanted to try and get all my teachers on board and show them how easy it was. So they're joint classrooms with all the teachers that I work with, and but having 32 plus the couple other ones that I need to have for things around the district is I think it's 35 or 36 altogether, and it's a lot of
Yeah,
classroom pages.
that's a
And it's
lot. That's a lot.
not
I
hard to
don't even have
organize,
that
but
many. That's crazy.
it's easy to keep them all organized. They're color coded and they're labeled
Mhm.
well, and but with all the pieces that come my way, all the different pieces of work that come my way, it's a good thing because that means that the teachers are using more and more of Google Classroom. But it's a lot of clutter that I definitely want to clean up for the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I definitely recommend that you try it then. You'll feel more accomplished.
Absolutely, yeah, that's on my list for sure. Um,
So
so
let's hear what you have to
I want
say
to talk
about
about something else.
your team drive.
So uh, I'm thinking about talking to a lot of people who are switching positions this end of this year, or people who, if you are somebody who maybe accidentally made something on your school drive or your personal drive, and you need to switch it from one to the other, you can always change over, and you can always use like there's Google Takeout, which allows you to pull all your files. But the problem is a lot of those things will download as Word files. You lose things like forms and sites and anything else like that. You lose them. And so it was really, and I don't know if it's meant for this or if it's just a little Easter egg that nobody knows about right now, but hopefully my bringing attention to it won't get rid of it. But it was brought to my attention by an innovator that I was with in Toronto. His name is Chris Tembarge, and he showed me this trick where you can use Team Drives to to transfer ownership of files from your G Suite account to a personal account. So if you're leaving your district, if you are switching schools, if you're switching anything where you would need to change the ownership of your files, change the locations of your files, maybe you just want to clean up your school drive and there's a couple things on there that you want to save for yourself. There's a really easy way to do this. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and show everybody those couple of things. So bear with me for just a sec. Here we go. All right, we can now see my screen, right? Awesome. So let's say, let's find here's my school Google Drive, and look at all the shared with me files. It's gonna take forever just to load. Look, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of them. They just keep going.
I'm not seeing your screen, Brian.
No, it says I'm sharing my
No.
screen. Maybe I'm
I
sharing
see
the
my,
wrong window. I'm
yeah,
sorry, you're
check.
seeing yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
let's try that again. That was my mistake. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. I grabbed the wrong. Yeah, I
Application window,
accidentally
right?
shared the Hangout screen. Yep. I was trying to do it quick and I wasn't paying attention. So here's my school drive. Here's my shared with me folder where there are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of files. They
You
just
still
keep
don't
going.
see your screen, Brian.
You don't see my screen now?
No.
It says I am showing my screen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just you,
I
but
see
it
me.
says that. Let's hide you. Yeah, I see my screen, and I see that's what it says on mine. It shows that I'm showing my screen. So I'll try this one more time. I'm going to use the application window one this time. Let's just share the whole thing.
There you go.
Whoa, that part's always
That's it.
crazy. You got it? You see my drive now?
Yeah.
All right, great. This actually takes longer than it does to switch these files over. So I have lots and lots of these files. And again, the share with me folder. Here we go for the third time. There's thousands of things in here, which I will most certainly be cleaning up. So As you can see on my team drive, I already created this one that says test, and it's got 3 members. I'll open it up just to show you. So 3 members, they're all me. They're all my different Google accounts. It's going to go slowly because I'm screen sharing and everything. But you can see these are all my accounts. So this is just me sharing things with myself as a team. So let's say I have something in here, and I do have some things in here that I probably should move from one place to another. So for example, I have a whole bunch of videos in this folder. Oh, never mind. I already transferred those ones over.
All right, Brian, I'm not seeing any interaction on your screen. It's like
it's not moving at all,
it's like a still shot. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a little bit of lag. But anyway, I'll try to walk through it then. For basically what you need to do is create a team drive with your personal account and your G Suite account. And all you need to do is take that. If you can see this, great. And if it's not coming through, then it's not coming through. But all you need to do would be to take that file, put it in the team drive that is for you and your personal account. Once it's shared in there, you go into your personal account. It'll be a separate drive with the same team drive. So your personal account, same team drive. And then you would take that and just drag it over to your drive. It will let you know that you are now changing ownership of that file. It literally says members of the test will lose access unless the item is shared with them. Ownership will be transferred to whatever your new address is. Once you click OK, it's OK. It works with sites, it works with forms, it works with images, it works with docs and sheets and pretty much anything else you can think of. It is extremely convenient and a really easy way to switch over your files if you happen to have things on your school drive that you need to save for yourself.
That is a really cool workaround. I like that. I got to play with that.
It's really easy. I know for me, like I created a few breakouts that I accidentally put on my school drive that I wanted to put on my my personal one. So I transferred the ownership there. And it was just because I wasn't paying attention when I was at home making them. They're not ones that I necessarily made for school. They're ones that I just made to play around with new sites and making breakout games with new sites. So it was, that was for me, that was awesome for me. The one thing I haven't found out yet, and I have to check, is if it changes the website address of your Google site. I've transferred some sites. I didn't take a look yet. So I'll put it in the show notes whether or not that changes. I'll make a note for everybody, but I believe it will stay the same because it's already a published web address. It will just keep that web address and change ownership to whoever, whatever account you used. So it's a lot easier than sharing everything with another account and then making copies of it. And you're literally transferring ownership to the other, which is, I think, a good practice for anybody who's moving districts, moving schools, or just like I said, has some things in there in one account they need to put into another.
Yeah, definitely got to check that out. I like that workaround a lot because sometimes I'll share things with my personal Google account and then I got to make a copy of it. And then,
Yes.
At that point, it's like, okay, I went through 4 different things that I didn't have to go through to change ownership, because I can't change ownership from my school Google account to my personal and vice versa because of the domain restrictions.
And now you can.
And now I can. So I definitely could utilize this little trick. This is going to be great because I was actually doing this today.
Yeah, it's a nice trick. It helps a lot, and it's just it's a nice way to get rid of some of that extra clutter if you want to clean up your school drive, but you don't want to lose some of those things. Or if you, like I said, there's a couple things that I've made accidentally on my school drive because I had it open before, and like whenever you have that open in the set of windows in Chrome, it opens it up and it opens up that version first, and I didn't realize it. So like I had my school account up, and that was the first one in the most recent one in the line, and that was what opened up next. So it created it in my school drive, and then I thought to myself, well, I better, I want to completely change this, but I don't want to lose all the work that I did. and just copying it all over is some extra steps that you
More
don't need to
work.
do.
Yeah, you don't need to do. You know what? Maybe you can make a screencast on it since we couldn't see your screen. Maybe you can
Yeah,
make a quick screencast on it and then post the link in
the,
the show notes.
the whole process takes less
Probably
than
2 minutes, right?
less than a minute. It is
Yeah.
so short. I don't know why you can't see my.
It'll probably take you longer to make the screencast than actually do the the file
Not even,
transfer.
well, yeah, it's such a short thing. It takes no time at all.
But maybe that would be helpful if you can do that. If you don't mind, that would be great
Oh
because
yeah,
then at
I'll
least we can share channel too.
yeah, I'll do one later tonight. Maybe we can upload it right to the channel.
Yeah, definitely. We
That
definitely
way,
upload it.
and put it on the show notes as well because it is. I said when I saw that we could do that, because I had a couple people that I know were leaving their districts, leaving their schools, and like I said, they wanted to make moves. And we were talking about this in my in the Hangout group I'm in for the Toronto Innovators, and when this came up from Chris, I was like, I can't believe you can that it's that easy.
So if somebody leaves their school district and transfers ownership using Team Drive, and then the Google administrator in the school disables their account, they're still independent of the Team Drive. They still have access
Yeah.
to the
And the
files,
reason,
correct?
yeah, because they've transferred ownership to whatever the G Suite account is or the Gmail account is that they're using, a personal account. So I think that's the key, is that you're transferring ownership. So it doesn't belong to the school drive anymore. It belongs for you, which belongs to you, which is important for a couple of reasons. I'm sure like there's a number of reasons somebody might want their material to be in their personal account. So I found that to be really useful. I couldn't believe how easy it was, and the fact that it worked just so simply was was really, really nice. Now you can't transfer folders. You have to transfer individual files, and you have to put them in new folders when you get to your drive, because you can't put whole folders into a team drive. You have to only put documents.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
But you just right click and drag the whole set of files, and then drag and click, highlight them all, and then drag them where you want to go, drop them in the team drive, drag them into your personal drive, and then you're done. I mean, it really is that easy.
Okay.
So, a great little trick, and like I said, hopefully help people clean up at the end of the year. Powering through the last couple weeks here in New Jersey. I know there's some places where people are already done, and it's good to see people finishing everything strong. I don't know. Did you get a chance to talk a little bit about the personal accounts in Google Classroom and
No,
all those pieces yet?
let me just tell them a little bit about some of the new updates in Google Classroom that were made available. The Google Classroom team allowed users to be able to customize email notifications. So in the forum, there's a lot of people that either requested to have certain notifications on or off, and that option wasn't available. So now you can actually go into your Google Classroom settings and customize what type of notification you want enabled and disabled. So that's actually a really great feature. You can customize that.
Yeah, because I always shut it off when you get all the hi, like those little messages from everybody.
It just
The kids get excited; they can talk to each
floods
other.
your inbox.
Yeah.
So that's new, and also in Google Classroom, there's a return count on the assignments. So now you have done, not done, and returned. So the return count is a new feature on each assignment in Google Classroom. And personal accounts are now available in Google Classroom. So now, before you were only allowed to be able to join Google Classrooms with your personal Google account. Now you can create Google Classrooms with your personal Google account. So that's a new feature also that became available. And there's going to be a lot of cool features coming out for back to school. I had a meeting with the team last weekend. I can't disclose any information, but
just a little teaser.
It's just there's a lot of great features coming out. So stay tuned. Keep giving them your feedback because they do prioritize the feedback, and they do read it, and they implement what you're requesting. So make sure you continue to give feedback,
Yeah,
because
that's a
you're going to
great
be
point.
really happy about the new features coming out for back to school.
Click that little question mark every time something goes wrong or something you want to see change for any Google apps, because they do take your feedback seriously.
They
And
do.
they pay close attention to it, they monitor it, and the things that they get the most of are the things they add first.
Yes, definitely. So highly recommend to do that. And that's it,
And,
really. That's all
yeah.
I have about any of the new features in Google Classroom.
Yep. And I know that some people might not know what the point of having those personal accounts are, but it is. I think it's a really good thing. It's
It's the best. It's great.
because you can. So before, if you were teaching people how to use Classroom, or if you were using Classroom for anything other than your specific school purpose, and there are a lot of ways that you could create a classroom. You could collaborate on projects. You could,
Mm-hmm.
you could do it with
Homeschool, and
them. You could
teachers
do it
who homeschool.
homeschooling. You could do it with things that aren't necessarily school related. I mean, if you
Yeah.
have a team that you're working with and you're saying, all right, I want to organize how this is done with all the with the features of individual assignments. Now you can individually assign pieces of the puzzle to your team and keep it all in one place where it's going to send back to the docs and keep track of whether or not they're finished and how far they've gone, and you can see their progress. I think there's some pretty cool applications that are out there for that. So
Yeah, there definitely is. There was a need for it. That's why they implemented it. A lot of educators who were not in a G Suite for Education school district needed this, and they accommodated it by, incorporating the feature. So they private tutors. I use it with my personal Google account when I do tutoring or consulting. Um,
mhm.
Homeschool educators, they're not in a traditional classroom environment, but they do teach, their students in a different environment. So yeah, the possibilities are really endless. You can do it for, community updates, or community, events, or anything that involves trying to organize information and get it out to people and have them responsible for completing an assignment. You can definitely utilize Google Classroom for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it. Some cool things are coming our way over the summer for Google Classroom to get started for next year. Uh, Ways to clean yourself up in Google Classroom, make it look neat and tidy for the following year. Same with your Drive, and a few ways to maximize where you keep your things in Drive and cut out some of the extra work in terms of transferring your files. So I said this was all about getting straightened away for the end of the year, and a lot of people are at that point already. You and I both have a couple weeks left, and looking forward to summer. But obviously, the end of the year is one of
Our
those
busy
times where
time.
it's bittersweet. It's busy. It's
It's busy.
hectic. You look forward to the end of the year, but at the same time, once the end of the year gets there, you miss some of the things that you realize are already going to be gone by the time you get there. So
But then you blink your eye and you're right back into it. So
yeah, and start all over again.
it
So
goes quick.
yep, we will be back with you at some point soon over the summer. Hopefully, we'll be able to tell you about some of those new Google Classroom things that are coming out, and any number of new things they're going to be updating over the summer to get started for the school year. So thanks a lot for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we're going to be coming back at you. And have a great end of the school year, beginning of the summer. We'll see all of you soon. And one more time, check out Eric Kurtz's blog at Control Alt Achieve, because he's got great stuff going on there.
Definitely. All right,
Thanks so
everyone.
much,
Thank you
everybody.
for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.